During World War II, the US needed a way to get supplies to the British without getting ganged up on by U-boats.
Hey bro, watch your jet. Watch your jet, bro. Watch your jet!
To prevent this from happening, the US, Britain, and Canada got to brainstorming and came up with the most logical solution: building an aircraft carrier out of wood in the year 1941. This goofy story begins with this nerd named Jeffrey Pike, who is also known for helping design the M29 Weasel, so I guess this guy is just an expert in wacky inventions. Hey man, we have another absolutely crazy idea that looks like something out of a cartoon. Can you help us out? When do I start? Pike came up with a super secret plan, so he sent it via a diplomatic pouch, which is what government telegrams were sent by back then. So surely this must be a really good idea, right? No, you read the title. He proposed a floating island made of ice, and that's not the crazy part. The crazy part is that he wasn't the first person to suggest an iceberg airport. The project was almost rejected because landing planes on ice doesn't tend to go well. But then a material known as pykrete was invented, which was sawdust and ice mixed together. But it gets even crazier. A test showed that pykrete would slowly melt unless it was constantly cooled. Oh, really? Ice melts? No way. So naturally, the designers decided to make a giant refrigeration system inside the ship that would constantly keep it cool. How is this real? To make sure the whole thing would work, it was decided to build a prototype on Lake Patricia in Alberta. Now, I did the math. The Habakkuk was planned to be 2,000 feet long and 300 feet wide, which is a total of 600,000 square feet, which translates to 13 acres, and Lake Patricia is 160 acres, meaning that the prototype would take up 8% of the lake, which isn't too much, but also kind of is. The prototype was built out of a bunch of giant pykrete blocks by 8 Canadian guys who were against the war anyway. Meanwhile, more and more problems arose with the giant refrigerator built on the inside of the ship, and one of the project directors told Pike that the ship literally would not work unless there was at least some steel in it. To make matters worse, Pike was literally kicked out of his own project to, quote, ensure American participation. The project got even more ambitious, with it planned to have 40-foot thick walls to prevent torpedoes. It had to be big enough to carry a B-17 and was going to be the previously mentioned 8% of a lake. By 1943, the control of the project was relegated to the Canadians instead, because of their, quote, familiarity with ice physics. The final nail in this ridiculous coffin came when the main supporter of the project, Lord Louis Mountbatten, eventually pulled out of the project because of how stupid it was, and also because there were other ways to stop the U-boats. Took them long enough. I would have retired after having the idea to freeze sawdust and make a boat out of it. But if you think about it, was it really a bad idea? I mean, people thought cars were a dumb idea, and now they're the main form of transport. Well, to that I say, of course it was a bad idea.
Just waking up, I don't know. Walking from the door, small, and mama cooked the breakfast with